Choir at Heritage High School, and we are going to be providing some music, and our last song has an audience participation element, so we hope that you participate.
Sweet silver bells, all seem to say, "Oh, Christmas is here, bringing the cheer to young and old, meek and the poor, ding dong, ding dong, God is his home, ding dong, ding dong, carol." One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, oh, rhythm down, telling tales, getting their ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, ding dong, ding dong, that is the song with joyful ring, oh, carol, ding dong. Sweet silver bells, all seem to say, "Oh, Christmas is here, bringing the cheer to young and old, meek and the poor. Ding dong, God is his home, ding dong, carol." One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they bound, raising the sound, oh, rhythm down, telling the tales, carrying the ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, ding dong, that is the song. Merry, merry, merry Christmas, ding dong, ding dong. Always and on without end, their dreadful tone to every home. Ding dong, bum.
mouchette, il est né le vie enfant, chantons tous son événement. Où n'est table son logement, où peut parler sans mouchette, où n'est table son logement, où ne tout abaissement. Now is born the divine Christ child, play the musette, play the tuneful hobo. Now is born the divine Christ child, let us sing and rejoice this day. Through long ages of the past,
Prophets have foretold his coming through long ages of the past.
now the time has come and passed.
Il est né
Il est né le vie enfant,
tout son événement.
il est né le vie enfant, il est né le vie enfant.
Captivum sole Israel, qui gemit in exilio, privatus Dei filio, corde Emmanuel, nascetur pro te Israel. Veni, veni, Orient, solare nos adveniens, noctis de nebulos, diras que mortis tenebras, Emmanuel, nascetur pro te Israel. Veni, veni, Emmanuel. O Emmanuel.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39 and 1/2 foot pole. You're a Mr. Grinch.
The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote.
Stink, stank, stunk. You nauseate me, Mr. Grinch, with a nauseous super nos.
You're a crooked jerky jockey, and you drive a crooked horse.
Mr. Grinch.
You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich.
With arsenic sauce. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town, to town. Oh, he's making a list and checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
You're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming to town.
You're here where you should be. Snow is falling as the carolers sing. It just wasn't the same alone on Christmas Day. Presents, what a beautiful sight. Don't mean a thing if you ain't holding me tight. You're all that I need underneath the tree tonight. I'm gonna hold you close. Make sure that you know I was lost before you. Christmas was cold and gray. Another holiday alone to celebrate. But then one day everything changed. You're all I need. Underneath the tree, you're here where you should be. Snow is falling as the carolers sing. It just wasn't the same alone on Christmas Day. Presents, what a beautiful sight. Don't mean a thing if you ain't holding me tight. You're all that I need underneath the tree. I found what I was looking for. A love that's meant for me, a heart that's mine completely. Knock me right off my feet, but this year I will fall with no worries at all. 'Cause you are near, and everything's clear. You're all I need But then, one day, everything changed. You're all I need. Underneath the tree, you're here where it should be. Snow is falling as the carolers sing. It just wasn't the same. Alone on Christmas Day. Presents, what a beautiful sight. Don't mean a thing if you ain't holding me tight. You're all that I need underneath the tree tonight. Bop 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 bop, shwari wari bop bop boo whoa. Bop 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 bop, shwari wari bop bop boo whoa. Girl, you know I miss you more and more each day. There's tears on my pillow, 'cause you're 1,000 miles away. But you'll be home for Christmas, and very soon we'll be lighting 16 candles around the Christmas tree, and we'll sing bop she bop, ring a ling a ding dong, dipty dipty I o. Do you know I love you so? Be a little darling, you'll be mine to cover. It'll be a do-wop Christmas with you.
Bop bop ba bop bop, shwari wari bop bop boo whoa.
Bop 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 bop, shwari wari bop bop boo whoa. Bop 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 bop, shwari wari bop bop boo whoa.
Bop 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 bop, shwari wari bop bop boo whoa.
Now we'll read from the book of love, catch a falling star, moments to remember, no matter where we are. I'll put on my blue side shoes and you chantilly lace, rocking around the Christmas tree, and what a time to waste, and we'll sing bop she bop, ring a ling a ding dong, dipty dipty I o. Do what I do, you know I love you so.
Be a little darling,
You'll be mine to cover. It'll be a do-wop Christmas with you. Please come on, baby. Do-wop Christmas with you. I need you, darling. Do-wop Christmas with you.
All right, we have reached the audience participation part of the performance. They're going to be singing a familiar song, The 12 Days of Christmas. And when we get to the end, there's, let me give us the pitch. Boom, bum, bum. That's your part. Everybody try it. Bum, bum. I will give you. Okay, here we go. They get a little unruly on this one, so we'll see what happens tonight. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree, bum bum. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree, bum bum. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, bum bum. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, bum bum. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings. Four calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, bum bum. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings. 4 calling birds, French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings.
Feliz Navidad.
Da-da-da-da-da. Feliz Navidad. Da-da-da-da-da. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Da-da-da-da-da. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids of milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings.
Guys, look at Santa Claus. Where?
Oh, dude. That's not him.
We missed him.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids of milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings.
Wait. 6 geese a laying? You want geese that lay eggs? You gonna cook those eggs? I don't think that's a good idea.
We'll talk about that later.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings.
So, like, is Santa Claus coming to town or what? 'Cause that hasn't happened yet.
Next week.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings. Four calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Hey guys, give it up for Heritage.
I'll see you at the.
I hope you bring your friends.
Yeah. They'll be there. I heard.
So I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, I'll see you
It is now 1800 hours. I'm going to call this regular council meeting 2025-31 to order. The invocation will be provided by Pastor Mark Miller, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Mike Hammer. All rise.
Thank you, guys. Heavenly Father, as we gather here this evening on this last city council meeting of 2025, I cannot help but be reminded of your words. To come into your gate with thanksgiving and your court with praise. Tonight, many of us should be doing exactly that as we glance back at 2025. We've got so much to be thankful for. Yes, Lord, it has been filled with many highs and many lows, but you have brought us through to this very day. No doubt that the enemy has tried to come in and steal, kill, and destroy everything you've had planned for this great city and these great people. But may we be reminded in this season that you left all of heaven to come to earth, to make a way that we might have a way where we didn't see a way, and to have a way to have life more abundant on this side and the other. There's so many words I want to pray, but I fall back again on your words. We don't need a lot of vain repetition prayers. You're already searching our hearts and you know what we know. So if you know this and you believe this, I'd ask you to pray it along with me. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespass, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. God bless you.
Jesus. Councilman Hammond?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah. Madam Jones?
Mayor Medina,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Jaffe.
Present.
Councilman Johnson is by phone. Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Hammer.
Present.
Councilman Langevin.
Present.
Mr. Morton.
Present.
Mr. Messenger.
Present.
Thank you. We're now on agenda revisions. Mr. Morton. Any agenda revisions, sir?
Sorry, I have no agenda revisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Messenger.
No revisions, sir.
Madam Jones.
Yes, Mayor. Item 4 in a new business has been revised to include additional provisions regarding speaking under consent agenda items.
Thank you. Council, any revisions? Seeing none, we're going to public comments. Deputy Mayor.
Kenneth Delgado.
That was quick.
Merry
Kenneth-
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Wow. Ken Delgado, 154 Angelo Road, Southeast, Palm Bay citizen, greatest city on the face of the earth. I just want to remind you that this Saturday we have Christmas extravaganza at Fred Poppy Park. And invite the businesses and people of this great city to come and celebrate what we're celebrating during this season, which is Jesus Christ, as we heard in the prayer, coming to this earth as a gift. I just wanted to touch one point on that. As God created man in his image and in his likeness, because most people don't know why did the word God become flesh? Why did he have to become flesh? And so I thought I'd just share that with the community. In Genesis chapter 1, when he created man and woman, it said, God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, fill the waters of the seas, that the fowl multiply. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong verse because you guys were so quick. Give me a quick second. There it is. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them, and he blessed them. And so he established a law, and the law is to operate legally, because we are a country of rules and legality. To operate with dominion or authority, you have to be a man or a woman. Thus, the only legal entities to be able to operate legally in this earth has to be through a woman. Thus, God, to be able to come into this world, he had to come in legally, because the pastor always comes through the front door. It is the thief that comes through the back door. And so in that he had to come through the front door, he had to be born of a woman. Thus, when he spoke the word, when Mary said, "How can this be?" He said, the Holy Spirit will overshadow you. And God, by his word that he had declared from the beginning of time, created a body to which the word could come in and legally operate in this world to bring back humanity into peace and joy and relationship with God. So, Merry Christmas, because the gift that God has given us is a gift of himself as he rescued us from ourselves. Merry Christmas. Open up your gift today.
Mark Miller.
Thank you.
Pastor Kenny reading my notes. Mark Miller, 898 Nelson Avenue, citizen of Palm Bay also for almost 30 years now. Just got back about an hour ago from St. Augustine, up there all week. 460 years old. And all I could see was all the battles, all the wars that were waged. And it reminded me that in the last more than 3,000 years of recorded history, this world has only been at peace about 8% of the time. More than 15,000 wars and skirmishes and things that are going on. And we're reminded in such a beautiful time of the greatest gift that there's a war raging for our families, a war raging for our community, a war that is being waged for even our nation and for our souls. And I just pray as we go into this Christmas season, instead of keeping our heads buried in the sand, we lift them up to heaven, to the source of all good gifts. I pray that we stop looking in the mirror and seeing only what we can get, but what we can give. The root definition of government is simply the process by which we do business as a people. It's the laws that we create. It doesn't have to be a negative word. It can be a very positive and beautiful word. When we develop a beautiful system, like our Constitution that came from the Bible, right? It also, another word is our politics. The definition of that is just our belief system on how we believe we should work together as a people. And so I want to first of all say Merry Christmas to all of you guys and your families. I want to encourage you and say thank you from the bottom of my heart for your service this year. I know it hasn't always been easy for everybody, right? But man, what a blessing, right? For you guys to be there. So take this Christmas season, search your heart for your politics, for your belief system, and how we can impact, right, this community for even a greater good than you already are. And it was John Adams who said, "Suppose a nation in some distant region should take the Bible for their only law book, and every member would regulate his conduct by the precepts therein. What a utopia, what a paradise this region would be." And it just reflects the profound moral and ethical behavior that we should be having, right, in this community filled with virtue. There's an enemy that is here to seek, kill, and destroy. And so let's defeat that enemy, right? Let's defeat that enemy and stand and rise. I'm going to tell you, 2026 is not going to be easier. It's going to be harder. So suit up, right? Suit up, and let's fight. Let's keep this nation. Let's keep this Palm Bay. Let's keep our families. Amen.
Bernie Greichen.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Bernie Grecian, and I am a citizen of Palm Bay. I wrote a letter to the Palm Bay Police Department, to the chief, I moved here from Marco Island to get away from the hurricanes. On the 31st of October, my husband passed away. I am writing to commend Officer Kevin Smith for his extraordinary compassion and professionalism during one of the most difficult times of my life. The grief and shock that followed the death of my husband, my spouse, are overwhelming. I lost my husband, Bill, a few weeks ago. Though I initially thought I was strong and in control, I soon realized I was not. Officer Smith was one of the first responders, along with hospice personnel who came to our home to certify of my husband's passing and to assist with the transfer process to the mortuary. His demeanor was not only professional, but demonstrated a genuine kindness that resonated deeply during that initial shock. As night fell, the reality of being alone in a brand new, empty house became too much to bear. At 2 a.m., an unnerving feeling of helplessness overwhelmed me. I attempted to call my son for a comforting voice, but he didn't answer the phone, which only intensified my anxiety. I then called the Palm Bay Police Department and spoke to Dina. It was that call that brought an angel back to my door. It was Officer Kevin Smith. He quickly reassured me that another officer was en route to check on my son, but most importantly, Officer Smith stayed with me. He took the time to calm, comfort, and reassure me. He remained at my side for hours. He notified my son and contacted me and stayed with me until he was certain I was okay. In a world where police officers are sometimes unfairly characterized, I experienced the absolute best of the blue that night. Officer Kevin Smith was truly my angel in my time of absolute need. I genuinely do not know what I would have done without his presence and support during one of the most difficult times of my life. I hope you will formally recognize Officer Smith for his remarkable empathy and commitment to community service, which goes far beyond the call of duty. Thank you so very much. I also had a wonderful experience with the Palm Bay dispatchers who stayed on the phone with me until the officer could arrive in my home to make sure that I was okay. I thank you very much for your time, and I hope that someone will commend Officer Kevin Smith for the good that he has done. Thank you again. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Ms. Gretchen. Thank you. And we're truly sorry for your loss, ma'am. God bless you. We're truly sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much. So am I. Thank you. Of 50 years.
Next speaker.
Bill Benton.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. I have 4 items to address. The first one is Merry Christmas, one and all. May it be a healthy, happy season for you, and may next year be healthy and prosperous for us all. Item number 2, this is my home, the city I live in, and I'm telling you, I love the city of Palm Bay. Number 3 is consent agenda item number 4. I was curious, $1.6 million, is that going to include the construction and the installation? And the other portion of that question is, why was IT exempt from disclosure? I think I was lucky enough to find out, but I'd like for my counsel to express it because that's how the public knows also. All right. Last item to address is, hopefully this will be the last time I have to address consent agenda where I have to give up my public comment time where I could address other things that I think were important, instead having to use that time to address my consent agenda items. Thank you all, and may you all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Next speaker.
Debbie Braccoloni.
Debbie Braccoloni, 1821 Agora Circle, Palm Bay. I hear certain youth groups are coming back. While that is all well and good, I suggest setting up some kind of a board or liaisons from each group because of past and present political discord. Also, this way maybe they can sit down and have some cross-group functions, such as cleaning up the beach, adopt a grant, accountability contracts, to name a few. Officer Tobar and Miss Leslie implemented some of these and others when they ran PAL. One of the problems they had was getting the older students to actual events because of transportation issues. And while some of you may believe that I want more buses, this is not why I am passionate about transportation. The reason is the 16-year-old who wants to get a job and his only means of transportation is the bus. Buses run late, he gets fired. Boss asks him to stay late. He can't because the buses only run at a certain time. Or how about how not every bus stop has a covering and getting caught in a sudden rain? Or trying to cross a busy street with a cart full of food and young children. I am passionate about our youth because they are our future. I'm passionate about the elderly because we can learn from them. And I'm passionate about our vets and active military because they give me the freedom to come here and speak. Passionate about trying to make it a better for those who feel left behind, and there are plenty. That is why people don't watch or come and speak at these meetings. They feel that you don't hear or care. They only bring up things that you only bring up things when certain people are upset. People don't trust you because of this. And until you actually figure out how to help more of the community rather than the select few, the distrust and people feeling hopeless will only grow. While some think diversity is bad, the singers tonight showed us how diversity brings about a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Susan Ramirez.
Good evening. Susan Ramirez, 3259 Eastman Avenue, Northeast Palm Bay. This is my brother. His name is Matthew. He's oxygen dependent, on a feeding tube, an insulin pump, and actively dying from cystic fibrosis with less than 6 months life expectancy. When he was 14 years old, he committed a Romeo and Juliet type of situation in the state of New York. He was convicted of a misdemeanor, and he was only sentenced to have to register on the New York State Sex Offender Registry for 10 years. I said all of that to say this. I'm a homeowner and a taxpayer in the Port Malabar area. The city decided to lay down 1.5 miles of pavement and slap the name park on it, which then prevented my brother from being able to move in with me. According to Florida Statute 772.215, a park is a place that children regularly and frequently congregate. There's no playground. There's no nothing there to lure any child to this area. Meanwhile, there's 2 individuals who live in my direct area and 3 individuals who live directly across the road from an actual playground where there are actual children that frequently congregate. Exceptions have been made for these individuals. We did bring this matter to Judge Crawford. Judge Crawford didn't rule on the matter because he lacked jurisdiction, with the advisement that we reached out to Palm Bay Police Department, we reached out to Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and we reached out to you. We've done all of that. My brother's not a danger to this community, to families, to anybody. He is bedridden. He can't leave the house. And I'm asking for somebody to please help me bring him home so that he can pass with dignity, surrounded by people who actually love him. I'm his only family member here in the state. That's all I have to say. I'm just asking for somebody to please help me.
Have you spoken with our police department?
I've spoken with the police. They have said that because the judge denied the motion, and I've submitted proof to them that the judge did not deny the motion, that they wouldn't discuss anything further on it. And to be quite frank, I am a taxpayer. I pay my fair share of taxes. For them to shut me down the way they did, it really bothered me. It really upset me.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm trying to comprehend the situation, right? And taking the emotions aside. My question would be, the judge reacted or made a determination without taking in whole part all of your evidence? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that he did not rule on the motion at all because he lacked jurisdiction. Jurisdiction falls on the city of Palm Bay and it falls on Brevard County Sort Team. My first step would go to the city of Palm Bay, to the police department, and ask them for a medical exception. I was then advised to reach out to Brevard County Sort Team to try to get medical clearance for him. I reached out to the Brevard County Sort Team, and they told me because Palm Bay had already said, no, it's too close to a park, we're following that.
Okay, I understand the issue now. You see that gentleman way in the back?
Yes?
There? That's our deputy chief. Perhaps he could sort this out,
Okay,
okay?
all right, thank you.
She's talking about that there's no playground.
It's
a paved
Bounty
area.
Park. It's
What
literally,
park are we talking about?
it's
Are we
Bounty-
talking about the Boundary Canal?
it's the Boundary Trail.
Okay.
There's nothing there, nothing. And as I said, my brother's homebound. He
Okay.
can't leave the house.
All right, ma'am. Go ahead and speak to the deputy chief, see if there's something that can be done.
Thank you, thank you. All of you. Merry Christmas.
Next speaker?
Jane Higgins.
Hello, it's Jane Higgins, 280 Naylor Street, Northeast Palm Bay. Been there for 30 years now. And I'm from the Palm Bay Sustainability Advisory Board. I'm here tonight subbing for Doug Hook. So if there are any issues that come up that the Sustainability Advisory Board can help you all with, just let me know. That's why I'm here. I appreciate your support of Doug. I think he's doing a great job, and I really appreciate how he's been coming to these meetings and been much more engaged with y'all. It was his son's birthday today, so that's why he's not here.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your service. Appreciate your dedication to our city. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. Next speaker?
Robert Stice.
Good evening. Robert Stice, 1796 Winbrook Drive, Southeast. You know, in the late 70s, I got off of active duty as Vietnam was coming to an end, and never wore a ship's hat or anything like that. It wasn't until I started going to Maui in the late 90s that I met a group of veterans around wasn't my intention to go there on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. But anyway, they were in a pool, and they started talking. Normally, this generation wasn't talking. Talked to one guy who was on the battleship Tennessee, and he told me how scared he was because he was in between, I think it was the West Virginia, and high-level bombers came in. There were splashes on both sides of the ship. I talked to another gentleman who got his P-40 Warhawk up in the air at that particular time. And I talked to the bugler of the West Virginia, who was on that ship, and that ship took like 12 torpedoes. I am just so humble when I talk to these vets. It humbles me down in my shoes. As the years progressed, when I was in Colorado, I talked to a Hispanic guy about this big. Loved the guy. He was in the second wave at the, not Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima. Talked to me about that. I talked to another guy who was on a Coast Guard cutter chasing submarines. And the reason why I said that, because I was in BJ's a couple of days ago, and there was two different gentlemen that had Korea War veteran. One was at the Chosin Reservoir. You know what that is. So what I'm saying is one of these guys was with his wife, looked like they'd been married for 50, 60 years. Another one was alone. And their eyeballs came as big as saucers when you said, you're a Korea War veteran, sir. Thank you. He's thanking me. Please do not thank me. Thank you for what you did. We don't realize what happened in Korea and how we were, we almost lost that battle if it wasn't for Chosin. And they were Marines there, were they not, Mr. Mayor? So I know the story. So anyway, if you see a Marine, there's a lot of, or any other Navy vets or any other vet for that matter, say hello. Some of these guys give us the ability who have been there and just humble me for what they did. And we're saying the Pledge of Allegiance here, and it just, what these guys have done, and maybe if you understand that, break it down to the kids today who think we fought Russia in the Revolutionary War. Let's talk to them about what really happened and what to be thankful for. Thank you for everybody with the hard work that you did this year. Please have a safe and prosperous New Year. God bless you.
Sailor Stice, I just want to share something with you regarding the Chosin Reservoir and all those Marines that were fighting in sub-degree freezing weather, right? The Army's 65th Infantry Regiment went on a suicide mission to assist those Marines. Just wanted to make that clear.
It's phenomenal what they've done. Thank you.
Michael Brietti.
Michael Brietti, 742 Cornelia Avenue, Southeast. No criticisms, no oppositions. Just here to wish everyone in Palm Bay a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and everyone up on that dais, and I do mean everyone. This time of the year, I turn to puppy poop. The grandchildren are around, and everyone's safe until after the New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Peace.
Charles Allen.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm just here for a follow-up, on my last time I was here, I think, November 6th, about the community targeting and stuff like that. I prepared another speech. I just want to be clear from the start. Nothing I raised has been resolved, and what has happened since only confirms the concerns I already brought before this council. Since then, I spoke directly to a Mr. Baxter from the Palm Bay Hospital. That conversation made one thing painfully clear. The meeting was not meant to resolve anything. It was just a formality, a box-checking exercise. There was no effort to get to the root of the issue or to understand what the mother of my children is experiencing. In that conversation, Mr. Baxter dismissed what she is going through as a conspiracy. Not investigated, not questioned, just dismissed. Even more troubling, he stated that because he had now spoken about it, we should never, ever speak about it again. This is exactly the problem that I raised last time. When it comes to her, everything is minimized, brushed aside, or labeled as not credible. Accountability disappears, and the message becomes very clear. This community does not believe it needs to answer for its actions when she is the one affected. Quite frankly, I think that's unacceptable. Dismissing someone's lived experience without investigation is not professionalism. Telling people to stop speaking is not resolution. And silence after promises of follow-up is not leadership. I'm not here asking for special treatment. I'm asking for just basic standards: transparency, accountability, and good faith engagement. If public institutions and officials cannot be questioned without shutting the conversation down, then the system is broken. I came back tonight because the council needs to understand something plainly. Ignoring these issues does not make them go away. It only confirms that the concerns we raised were valid in the first place. And just thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Pat Dalbra.
Good evening. Pat Delper, 410 Georges Avenue Northeast. And I also just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. I also understand that being up on the dais is not an easy job. It's hard work. A lot of people don't understand that, so I just want to encourage you to continue to fight, to continue to pursue the best for the city. We appreciate you and understand that even though there's many times frustrations and disagreements, we still understand that you are up there to do the best for the city, and I encourage you to continue to do that. I pray for the staff also to come up with creative ways to figure out how to increase their productivity and saving money and trying to get our infrastructure done. So it's not an easy road, and I understand that. And so I just pray blessing over you and ask the Lord to guide you and lead you and give you extraordinary wisdom and discernment. Thank you.
Ruth Caulfield.
Bless you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, staff. We appreciate all of you, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a Happy Hanukkah for all of our citizens in Palm Bay. 2025 revealed that concern and interest is spreading throughout Palm Bay and Brevard County to participate in our government. As the Brevard County Constitution coach and co-leader of our Salt and Light Council, I'd like to invite all of you to come and learn how to be salt and light in our community. I'm giving each of you, right here, I've given each of you the schedule for the first quarter of 2026. We will be helping our citizens understand the role of pastors and Christians in civil government, and we'll be learning how to rebuild liberty in 2026. We want to engage the faith community to stand up for our city and what we can do to work with the city staff and council to engage, empower, and educate all of our citizens to embrace our founding documents so our city doesn't become a Minnesota city run by an Islamic fanatic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Mayor, that concludes the speakers for tonight.
So before we go to consent agenda, Mr. Morton, I'd like for you to highlight a little bit about the disclosure and the question of construction and installation regarding item 4 on the consent.
Sure. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. So this type of IT project is specifically exempt under Florida statute sections 119.07252D and 119.07135A1. And the rationale is these are cyber security and infrastructure safety projects to protect against malicious activity. And so by their very nature, us discussing the scope or intimate details of the project is essentially the roadmap to those nefarious actors. The type of systems we are protecting do routinely get probed and/or attacked. In fact, I was reading a publication from the state of Florida yesterday, and there has been a round of attacks this year, as we've heard, from a very focused state sponsored by the state of China against some of these infrastructures. So, so that's why that's the only reason we're not discussing it. Thank you.
Copy that. And the question of it, does it include the total construction and installation?
For this particular project, it does. This is a first part of a phase of a project. We've applied through the state cybersecurity initiatives, and I believe we have good support from our state representative, Monique Miller, who's a great champion of cybersecurity, to continue on with additional phases. But this is a pretty significant cybersecurity and general facilities upgrade for us.
So to clarify, this is not allowed to be discussed?
Correct, and similarly, the bid specifics were not published for that reason. It, again, would give anyone a clue of the type of equipment we're using, the type of security systems, and so we just don't put that out for public consumption.
So in totality, the federal government would just simply say that's classified. Let's move on to consent. Council, anything you wish to pull from consent? If not, I need a motion.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Hammer. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Loud and clear. So we're now on, passes 5-0. Or 4-0. No, he's on the phone, 5-0.
Chandler's in the restroom.
As you were, 4-0. We're now on public hearings number 1. I'm going to open up the public hearing. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. I'm going to ask Ms. Denise Carr to come up and give a quick overview of this item and answer any questions that you may have.
Good evening. Every city and county that receives funding from the State Housing Initiative Partnership SHIP program is statutorily required to assemble an Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, an AHAC, to recommend housing strategies and to incentivize the production of affordable housing. The City of Palm Bay established the AHAC in 2022. The city is required to submit an incentive strategy report each year to the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, and the report is due December 31st. The AHAC met on November 19th, 2025, to review the current affordable housing incentives and strategies. During this meeting, the AHAC discussed the incentive strategies with staff from the city's Housing and Community Development Division and the Growth Management Department. After review, the committee unanimously agreed that the recommendations adopted in the 2024 AHAC report remain relevant and should continue to guide the city's affordable housing efforts. The committee did provide comments on the report, and the summary of their comments were provided in the agenda package. Other than the minor updates, this is the same affordable housing incentive strategy approved by the City Council as part of the Local Housing Assistance Plan revisions at the August 7th, 2025 council meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions of Ms. Denise? Seeing none, stand fast. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Yes, ma'am, step forward. Denise, don't go far. Let Ms. Koffel come and speak, and then hopefully you'll have the answer for her. Yes, ma'am, just come on up and ask.
Ruth Caulfield, 935 Douglas Street. I have a question on, within the report, does the, since we have a massive amount of apartments out here, is each one of these apartments noted as affordable housing? Or is there a breakdown of what apartments are affordable housing?
Yes, ma'am. Does that conclude your questions, ma'am? Okay, carry on.
This report deals with regulatory and incentives, so it's strictly regulatory.
Ma'am, just speak on
Strictly regulatory and incentive report. It doesn't deal with affordable housing. However, if she wants to come to our department, we can, or call me, I'll give her my phone number. We'll get that information to her.
Copy that. Ms. Koffel? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe,
Second.
second by Councilman Hammer. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Councilman Johnson, you're on. I can't make a visual of you, but.
I'm all good, Mayor.
All right, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That passes 5-0. Item number 2. Mr. Messenger.
An ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, providing for the naming of private drives located within tax parcels 145, 168, and 169, Section 22, Township 28, Range 37, Brevard County, Florida, as Golden Sun Drive Northeast, Soulflower Lane Northeast, Sol Vista Lane Northeast, Sunbeam Way Northeast, and Sunfield Way Northeast, providing for the drives to remain private, providing for an effective date.
I'm going to open up the public hearing and defer to Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is the final reading. We have nothing new to add, but we do have staff available if council has any questions.
Any questions, council? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Councilman Johnson?
I was an aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. We're now on item number 3, oh, by the way, Mr. Messenger, was there something that you had to read regarding consent? Our consent agenda that we passed? I'm just going back. No? Okay. All right, we're now on item number 3. Mr. Messenger, regular public hearing.
Ordinance 2025-57, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the rear 20-foot public utility and drainage easement, together with a portion of the east side 6-foot public utility and drainage easement located within Lot 22, Block 171, Port Malabar Unit 7, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 14, page 129, of the public records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
I'm going to open up the public hearing and defer to Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. First of all, real quick, I just want to update you and say that we had a very productive meeting with City Legal Department, and we think we've got a few strategies to make this a much simpler process for our citizens in the future. So we're definitely going to continue to work on that. That being said, this is a final reading of this. We have nothing new to add, but we do have staff available for questions.
Council, any questions? I don't see anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item. Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2025-57.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Mayor Medina. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously, 5-0. We're now on item number 4.
Ordinance 2025-58, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the rear 10-foot public utility and drainage easement located within lots 1 and 2, Block 2592, Port Malabar, Unit 49, according to the plat thereof as recorded in Plat Book 22, page 155 of the public records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, sir. I'm opening up the public hearing. Mr. Morton?
Thank you. Once again, final reading tonight. Staff has nothing new to add. We are available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to speak? Step forward. Master Chief Batten. Master Chief Batten is actually a senior chief, but I promote him every time.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. One more time, I'm just bringing this out, the fact that, yes, residents of Palm Bay do sometimes want larger lots. We don't want to have to pass toilet paper to the house next door when there's an emergency. Okay, people, so I'm speaking in favor of this, so just remember, when we get some of the developers in here that say nobody wants it, yes, people do want it. In fact, they're having to buy several lots just so they can get the size lot that they want. And with the second part of that, after your last statement of making it easier, will the public still be aware of what those are going to be? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Full public process, just potentially one hearing instead of two, and a resolution instead of an ordinance. Yes.
Thank you. And bigger lots in Palm Bay.
Hoorah. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take that second. Motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Mayor Medina. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. We're now on item number 5.
Ordinance
Mr. Messenger.
Ordinance 2025-59, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the rear 20-foot public utility and drainage easement, together with a portion of the side 6-foot public utility and drainage easement located within lots 12, 19, and 20, Block 1382, Port Malabar, Unit 30, according to the plat book thereof as recorded in Plat Book 17, page 11 of the public records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I'm opening up the public hearing. And Mr. Morton?
Thank you again. Final reading tonight. No new items to add, and we do have staff here available for questions.
Thank you. I don't see any questions, so in the audience, anyone wish to speak for or against this item? Yes, sir. Step forward. Mr. Banton, you already told him what to say, sir.
Yeah, he's bothering me. He told me to take over the 2 empty lots behind my house. That being said, I talked about veterans because it was passionate to me, but I guess my challenge for the staff and for our representatives is, how are you going to focus on improving the quality of life in Palm Bay? Lots is one of them. Okay, traffic is one of them. And we have apartments on top of one another, and we're known for gridlock, suburban gridlock, and we're seeing it all over the place. Suburban gridlock, I thought gridlock was only specified to like New York, Manhattan, Boston, and what have you. Traffic sucks, and we still have a lot of work to do. So my question for you all, whether it's development, and I like that new storage unit going up again, but how are you going to improve our quality of life? This person here is holding on to 3 different lots so he can have space. I mean, my God. So think about that going forward. How are you going to improve my quality of life, my family's quality of life, and why should I still reside in Palm Bay? Because like I said before, Mr. Mayor, back in 2020, my wife and I, we go out the gate, we head north, we go to Melbourne. I don't want to do that. This is my city too. How do you make it better with the money you have? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2025-59.
Second. Motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Mayor Medina. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. We're on item number 6. Mr. Messenger.
Ordinance 2025-60, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 17, Land Development Code, Chapter 173, Zoning, by creating a new subchapter to be known as Part 11, Reasonable Accommodation Procedure, providing procedures for handling and processing requests for accommodation from the city's Land Development Code, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I'm going to open up the public hearing, and Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is a final reading, and just by way of recollection, this is to approve a Land Development Code textual amendment that would establish a formal process for certified recovery residences within the city's Land Development Code that would ensure compliance with the federal and state fair housing and disability laws, also known as the ADA and the FHA, including Florida's SB 954 that was passed in 2025, as well as the requirements of the Florida statute sections 397, 487, which specifically discuss the local review of certified recovery residences. Nothing has changed from the first time you read it. We do have staff here tonight to answer questions you may have.
I don't see any questions from council, but I will turn to the public to see if they wish to speak for or against this item. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2025-60.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. Seconded by
Second.
Councilman Hammer. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Councilman Johnson, you still there?
I was an aye.
You're an aye?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, buddy. Passes 5-0. We're now under new business, item number 1, Mr. Morton.
Yes, tonight this is the consideration of a sub-grant amendment and contract with the University of North Florida's Institute of Police Technology and Management for the Pedestrian Bicycle Safety High Visibility Enforcement and Support Program. Originally, we were granted an award back in July of $21,000, almost $22,000. They have come back and added $28,100 about to this grant. The reason it's on the agenda tonight is we're going to ask Deputy Chief Spears to come up real quick to discuss it, just because I think the topic lately, we've seen a lot of crash reports come across our desk between pedestrians and bicycles, bicycles and e-bikes, e-bikes and cars. And so I think the Deputy Chief was going to discuss this really quick and then, of course, answer questions and take any feedback that you may have.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mayor, Council. So this is a grant that we have been fortunate enough to have been awarded for several years now. As a matter of fact, 2017 is when we first were awarded this grant, and it goes along and we share the common goals of trying to promote traffic safety, prevent crashes, all while maintaining little cost to the city with this grant. This is a reimbursing grant that provides the salary for our officers, the overtime, and it puts our officers back out in the streets to promote traffic safety and help educate the public, our bicyclists, our walkers, the pedestrians, and just the general motoring public. So what ends up happening each year, the traffic stats get sent to IPTM up in Jacksonville at the University of North Florida, and they determine our hot spots, the areas that are most vulnerable. And then when they push out this award after it's been given to us, that allows us to focus on certain areas in the city where there's been a lot of crashes, most of which are serious crashes. And so we go out there and we try to educate first before we enforce, and then we try to hopefully reduce any crashes and serious injury that come from those areas. So that's kind of the grant in a nutshell. Certainly available for any questions you guys might have.
So I'm not sure about a question, but I have seen an uptick in these e-bikes.
Yes.
That I think they're pretty much motorized vehicles on a pedway. And so I have seen a huge uptick within our community, and some aren't lit.
So it's actually a statewide issue. We're experiencing from other police agencies that we speak to and try to get some type of language or the ability to create and draft an ordinance. We're seeing this as across the state, and so a lot of municipalities are working with their legal teams to come up with an ordinance, and we've reached out to ours to start crafting our own, because those ordinances are unique to each community and each city, and so we are working on that. The state statute is very limited as to any type of flexibility we have with e-bikes. As a matter of fact, the state statute classifies e-bikes just as normal bicycles. But then you add in the motors and the age requirements, and so it would be the recommendation from the police department to create an ordinance to where we can restrict and regulate e-bikes through permitting, through the age that we allow individuals to ride these e-bikes, the speed, et cetera, and where these e-bikes are. 2 weeks ago, we had asked for some stats regarding e-bike crashes, and in 2025, so far this year, we've had 33 e-bike crashes. 10 of those crashes have involved individuals under the age of 18, and some of those have been serious injuries. Fortunately, we have not had any fatal injuries, but there has been serious injuries as a result of those e-bike crashes. So it obviously is becoming a concern for us, and we're trying to work on creating an ordinance to help battle that issue.
Okay, and how far along are you with that ordinance?
It's very early because we're trying to bring other ordinances to help with that language, but it's just a matter of setting up a time with legal.
Copy that. I have Councilman Hammer that has a question.
Yes, sir.
Have you got an example of some of the programs we've done in the past using the funds through this? Because I know at our TPO, one of the worst places in the county is on Port Malabar, where I want to say only 32% of the people yield to the pedestrians crossing at Veterans Park. I know we've done a few things there. Is this one of the programs that helps us do things like we've done in the past there?
So this grant does not. As a matter of fact, I cannot recall that this grant has given us a location for the area that you're speaking of. These areas that we typically focus on, again, they're high volume and significant injuries. And so a lot of it is along Palm Bay Road near the Babcock corridor, Babcock, Malabar, Emerson, I-95, right? Those are just some of the main areas that we focus on yearly. We have done other community outreach programs for the park at Vets that you're talking about, but this program is strictly for overtime for our officers, and they tell us where to focus our efforts.
Any other questions? I don't see any. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Hammer,
Second.
seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 5-0. We're now on new business item number 2. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This item was on the agenda several meetings back. We pulled it to do some additional public outreach. Essentially, because of City Council's action and activity, you have the attention of the Florida Department of Transportation. So they did call a meeting with staff. We met with Public Works and some planning and some other staff to discuss solutions to begin to reduce the excessive stacking on the southbound I-95 at the Malabar Road exit. That's been a concern of FDOT, it's been a concern of yours, it's been a concern of our police department and our community. So out of that meeting, FDOT shared they had performed a study which indicated that the closure of the left turn median brakes right on Malabar Road there close to San Filippo with some additional signal timing would likely relieve that stacking, not just on the roadway on Malabar, but also provide relief and safety on the I-95 off-ramp. This is a test project. It's temporary. This closure is not permanent. It will last from somewhere between 6 to 12 months. And during that time, we have a work program between our Public Works Department and FDOT using a combination of Ranger cameras and MyoVision cameras to understand the effectiveness of this, to study the traffic stacking and movement patterns, and also see if there's other solutions we can bring to the table through what they call context-sensitive design to alleviate or change driver behavior to make more positive impact. Again, we've worked through this project. We think it's a good start to trying to solve creatively in partnership with FDOT some of our most pressing challenges. We do have staff here tonight who can do a much better job discussing this than myself. So if we have additional questions or if you would like a presentation, we can have staff come up and do that.
Well, at this time, I don't see any questions of staff, but I will defer to the Deputy Mayor for comment cards on this item.
Debbie Braccoloni.
I have a few questions. What times are we talking? Because the problem's going to be whatever roads that we close, that's going to affect Emerson, Jupiter, Waco, Babcock, because depending on the time, you have school buses on the road, you have parents trying to get their kids to school. So we've got it, if you're going to do this, we got to do it where it doesn't affect them as much as everybody else. So.
It's 24 hours a day for a period of minimum of 6 months to 12 months. Just,
Okay,
But
so.
it's not a road
my
closure.
not a road closure.
It's not a road closure.
Not a close.
My suggestion would be, get in touch with schools for the first few weeks to let them know that some of the buses may be running late because of the traffic, not knowing that this is going to be closed until everybody gets used to it. So at least the kids don't get marked late and have issues with the schools. Because that's going to be a problem. Buses run late as it is now. So if we're going to be closing something, that's going to create more traffic somewhere else. So we have to take that into consideration. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. I have a couple of questions with this one. The first one is, how are you planning on the access into the Waffle House and the gas station there that the big semis are using? Is it that you're going to route them through Lowe's and down San Filippo through the backside of Lowe's? If that's what the route is, that means they then have to cross San Filippo at a traffic light, so this is just going to back up, which is only 200 yards away, back up to Malabar Road. So you'll have the same backup 200 yards down the road again. Plus, you'll be putting it down into a sharper, tighter lane to make that turn coming into the backside of Lowe's. Then when they have to leave, are they going to be able to leave right out onto Malabar Road? That was the first question. The second one was, the data that I was looking at when I was going through this packet was 2 years old. How much more has the traffic increased in the last 2 years? You know, I know we have to have a start point for our data points. We have to have that. But I know it's increased a lot more in the last 2 years just by personal experience. So how are we routing it? What's the impact going to be on Lowe's? It makes it hard for me to get my lumber every morning. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And you know what? you're spot on. We've actually sat with FDOT discussing that type of impact. I'll let Mr. Morton discuss that. But you're spot on. That was my concern as well.
Staff's going to come up and discuss that and the alternatives. In terms of the traffic counts, great question. And I think I can answer that piece, that the cameras and the digital solution there was going to help us actually update what the more current, not only traffic counts, but turning movements are. So I think we're going to come out of this with some better data to help us.
Thank you. Mayor, City Council, Kevin Brinkley, Public Works Director, sorry.
What's your name, sir?
Okay, thank you, forgot that part. Kevin Brinkley, Public Works Director.
No, yes, sir. I just wanted you to slow it down.
Let's make sure I remember the two questions here Mr. Batten asked. One, yes, the data is 2 years old, and qualitatively, we know that the counts have increased. It was already at a break point using the data in 2023, so it warranted this. Using data that's 2 years old, we know that it's increased, so we feel confident moving forward. And with the new traffic council we'll be doing in coordination with FDOT, we will get much more updated information. And then the other one, yes, he was correct about the traffic light being on San Filippo. The ultimate aim or the recommendation from the study that FDOT performed was to be able to extend the left turn lane onto San Filippo to provide more staging there and alleviate some of the kind of backing up onto the lanes that would be going straight on Malabar.
Yeah, can you highlight that again? Because I think there was some issues and concerns about the closure, but it is actually the lane and extending that left turn lane. Can you highlight that
Mayor,
again?
can we
the time being,
can we get a visual while he's sharing it?
I think he was working on it.
So for now, it'll just be dead space, right? We're closing it for a period of 6 to 12 months to analyze. If we were to find that it would be of benefit to us, if it helps to alleviate the stacking that happens on 95, the two big recommendations that came out of the study was, one, extend the off-ramp on southbound 95, getting off at Malabar Road, which FDOT is currently doing. And the other one would be to close this median for a period to analyze whether extending that left turn lane, it would ultimately be an extension of the left turn lane if it were closed temporarily. They would make it a longer turn lane to turn left onto, so if you're on Malabar Road heading westbound, you'd be turning left onto San Filippo. We're going to give you more space to stack more cars there, queue more cars there, and then not block the lanes that would be going straight westbound through that traffic light.
Copy that. Mr. Robert, have you pulled that up yet? Do you have it up now? Okay. Still working on it? Okay.
I can wait.
Did you want to cover, Deputy Mayor, did you have a question?
I just wanted to ask to pull it up while so the audience had a visual of what he was describing. Maybe we can ask the two next speakers to come up while they're pulling that video.
Yeah, go ahead and stand fast.
Butcher end.
Thank you for staying nearby there, Kevin.
Butcher Rand, 219 Trenton Avenue. Once again, Bill stole my comments that I had here. My question is, how are they going to synchronize the lights, making the right turn coming off of 95 to Malabar and then San Filippo? Because if the San Filippo light is red and that light's green, that's where your jam up's going to come from. Are they able to synchronize those lights? Then after they get through that, the truck makes that left turn and he turns to go through the access road between Walgreens and Lowe's. That's a very short, two semis, San Filippo's backed up again. The lights at College Park, I think they just addressed that. Sooner or later, they're going to extend that one. Is that what I'm understanding? And then the northbound trucks coming off of 95, is that light going to be synced along with San Filippo? If not, everything's going to back up again. And if drivers would just slow the hell down coming off the 95 exit and quit trying to cut everybody off, the accidents would come way down. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Butch. I'll see if we could get some of your questions answered. But in the meantime, I'll just share a little bit. our motorists, our Pompeyers, getting off 95 on Malabar Road, we've actually had a loss of life on 95. And part of the discussion has been, when I was on the TPO, is with the Secretary of Department of Transportation, was to create a study to alleviate that whole issue. So part of that solution, the very first least of resistance right now, is to clear that out. Another part of the solution is to have the extension of the exit on 95 as you deaccelerate into Malabar Road, increasing that into 2 lanes of exit instead of 1. That's all been part of the PD&E study that is actually going on. This is part of that solution. So I wanted just to share that piece of information, because these are things that are aroused because we did lose someone's life on 95. And this is something that has been worked on for quite some time. So there's a lot of study is yet to do and a lot to consider, but ultimately is so that we don't have another loss of life. Mr. Morton.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to answer some of the questions. We don't, to be candid, like we always are, we don't have complete knowledge of all of the outworkings yet. I can't discuss light synchronization or that part. We came this on a premise, at least from a staff perspective, that perfection in this situation would be the enemy of the good, be the enemy of progress, and doing nothing wasn't an option. And so this gives us an opportunity to start to understand from a data gathered perspective what our new counts are, what our turning movements actually are, what the impacts of design changes will be. Will it impact positively or negatively all the traffic on Malabar, east of the interchange that's already stuck in queuing and running red lights and blocking intersections? And so you're asking outstanding questions. Those are the questions we're asking. And from a staff's perspective, this exercise is going to start giving us data-driven answers instead of anecdotal information to hopefully start. And if it doesn't work, we'll be the first ones back saying, hey, it's not working. We should not continue this exercise. But what we're trying to do from our perspective is learn some things in a fundamental way to start dealing piece by piece, one bite at a time. We're going to eat the elephant to try to start dealing with these traffic problems. So I hope that was helpful information.
Mr. Kevin?
I believe he said it incorrectly when he said staff can say it better than I can earlier. So Mr. Morton, you've laid it out perfectly, I think.
Thank you. Okay.
Ruth.
Next speaker.
Ruth Koffold.
Thank you, ma'am. That concludes the speaker cards.
It does, Mayor.
Any additional questions, gentlemen? Councilman Ham?
Yes, I have a question. Is this something that we can pass tonight and give the opportunity for administration to bring back if for some reason it's not successful? Because I don't want to have this go through and then all of a sudden it doesn't work and we have to wait till we come back to council to fix it. So I would like something put in there to where if our public works and our city manager decide, this isn't good, they can administratively open it back up. And on the second part of that, I want to bring into everybody that it's very rare for FDOT to step in and give this guidance to a city. I don't think anybody in this room has more knowledge of the roads and how they function than FDOT. FDOT has a room of people in there that study that with another room of people to back those people up. So I am so thankful they're giving us their time, their effort, their funding, and I think we should give it a chance, but Pompey is different. So if for some reason Pompey is showing its traffic diversity, I would like administratively be able to open it back up.
So we're talking about this is you're gonna increase the data for 6 months, is that correct, Mr. Morton? And
What I'm hearing is the initial proposal was somewhere between 6 and 12 months. And what I'm hearing from Councilmember Hammer is if we have a major problem and this is not working, that we have the power in staff to change this and of course, bring it back to council for guidance and direction is what I'm understanding. But the proposal is between 6 and 12 months.
Copy that. Deputy Mayor Jaffe.
So there's two proposals provided by staff. One's for a rental for a period of 365 days for $40,000, or there's a purchase option for $28,000. So I just want to, make it clear that, for whatever reason, we make the purchase and we pull the plug, the rental option would have been the cheaper option. Unless we agree tonight to do a 3-month study, then the rental option would be cheaper than the purchase option at the beginning.
And then, so the question would be, how much data can be collected in 3 months? Or would that be insufficient? Or should we get a better comprehensive look at it in 6 months? Because we're also, we have a lot of snowbirds here, I would imagine, right? At this particular junction. So the sooner, the better. It's going to be a lot better if we get this thing starting like tomorrow. But Mr. Morton?
That was a conversation with FDOT, and it's partially that. You're trying to catch school traffic, non-school traffic, holidays, different seasons of the year. 6 months was that broader window. The rationale behind purchase versus rent was Public Works did feel, and again, Kevin, if I'm misspeaking, but that this is a tool that they can continue to use for multiple projects down the road. Once we own it, we own it. Versus rental, we borrow something and we're going to give it back. And Public Works can actually use this removable tough curb barrier in other areas of the city.
Copy that. So it's better to buy if we could use it again and again. Okay. Well, thank you. That ends public comment, sir? No?
A card came in after we brought it back to council. Robert Stice, if we'd allow him the opportunity to
Okay.
speak. Robert, or Mr. Stice?
Robert Stice, 1796 Windbrook Drive. Thank you very much. One important thing that I feel is going to really help, just like when I go to church, you see Palm Bay's finest directing traffic at a church. I think it would be imperative that if you had a uniform officer or some help there directing traffic during rush hour in AM and PM, because they're going to block the intersection and we're going to have a complete mess. So I think that ought to be part of your evaluation, and that'll help solidify the movement of traffic in that area. Also, somebody asked me to bring up, what are you doing about the group in Jupiter? But anyway, please get somebody in there controlling traffic. That's important. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion.
Make a motion to approve with the ability for staff to bring it back should it not function as operated.
I got a motion. I need a second. No second for discussion?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilman Langevin. Deputy Mayor Jaffe.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So I sit on TPO with Councilman Hammer, and Mayor, you'll be joining us in January. Looking forward to that. And part of me is conflicted because FTOT is looking to participate with Palm Bay on a solution, and we constantly ask staff for creative solutions, and they're working very hard to bring opportunities for us to consider. I just personally can't get behind this particular project. I think it's kicking the can down the road to the point some of the residents made that we're going to anger a lot of folks along Malabar, and then it's just going to continue a traffic issue around San Filippo, and then potentially semi-trucks racing through Lowe's parking lots or other shopping centers. I think a longer-term solution is figuring out, and this is very expensive, but another off-ramp somewhere between St. John's Heritage Parkway and Malabar Road.
And sir, you're spot on, and that's what I think we brought that up at the one of the meetings that we had with FDOT. But that, in total transparency, I'm fully on board with something like that, sir. But I will say this. I think something's got to be done now. And I'm willing to collect the data and see it's doing something rather than nothing. Let's see where this goes. But I'm in total agreement. We do need another interchange. That could solve a huge mess there as well and create different opportunities Part of the discussion, since you brought it up, is that investment from FDOT, because that bridge on Babcock Street, that would be the state that would have to, so instead of expending that, I'd rather them open up another interchange, as you say, use that money. I think that would be most effective. But I think that's so far downrange, and this is what's before us today to try and get some data to see if it would be resolute. Now, I will say this, it may affect some of the businesses in that corridor, and that's been a contention with me as well. So I hear what you're saying, sir. I'd rather try to do something rather than nothing. So, any other council members want to weigh in? Councilman Johnson, I don't have a visual of you. Would you like to weigh in?
I'm good, Mayor. I'm in agreement with you and Deputy Mayor Jaffe, but we need to get this moving like pronto.
Councilman Hammer, you made the motion.
Hit the wrong button, sorry. I just want to let FDOT have a chance. I want to try to come up with a resolution. Whether it works or not, we could do it, and within a week, it could show that it's not going to be able to function correctly. So I really want to get FDOT a chance. I have to believe they know a little bit more than me about it, so I am going to still support it. I don't think it's going to help the businesses close to there, and I am 100% in favor of another exit, but that's hopes and dreams. I would really like to hear a little bit more from FDOT on it, but I do want to try to give them a chance and show them that, they're putting forth the effort, we should too. And I definitely want to have that ability to change it if it doesn't work.
I appreciate your candor. Councilman Langevin, sir.
Yeah, I'll just say, I appreciate Councilman Hammer just making it clear that, the city manager has the ability to do something if it's obviously not working. I think we had something similar. I don't remember if it was, yeah, exactly. So, and you try things and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So we just want to be clear that we have the ability to not be locked into it. But ultimately, this isn't the end all be all or the total fix tonight. It's just one thing that's presented, and it happens to be the item in front of us right now. There's obviously a lot of things that need to happen to Malabar. There's a lot of things that need to happen to our road infrastructure, and I really do hope we have some more conversations about that as a major priority, for staff and our city manager going into the new year. But tonight, the item before us is, do we want to try this and we work with FDOT? And so I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, let's go ahead and work with FDOT right now, and then we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's very well put, Councilman Hammer. I think you saying that FDOT has invested that PD&E study on 95, and they are moving forward with extending those 2 lanes. So I'm in support of this. It's doing something. May not be the solution, but it may be part of how we collect data and move forward. So I'll be supporting this as well. So right now I have a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Councilman Langevin. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Passes.
Nay.
Who's nay?
Kenny, or Councilman Johnson.
Councilman Johnson, are you nay?
Nay.
Okay, so passes 3-2. We're now on item number 3.
Ordinance 2025-61, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 9, General Regulations, Chapter 92, Noise, by including provisions related to construction work on weekends, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Councilman Langevin?
Yes, Mayor. So we obviously discussed this in length at our last meeting. There were some questions. So I sat down with the city manager after our last meeting. We kind of talked about what we thought everybody's questions were and what the consensus was, what we needed. And I personally think that the city manager and staff did a phenomenal job putting together just a really detailed staff report on this and what's being changed. And we're not dealing with the holidays anymore. It's just the weekends. And so, with that, I don't want to go too deep into it since we talked about it so much last time. It's in the council reports. If you guys have any questions, I think it's best to address it with Mr. Morton. And otherwise, thank you guys for your consideration.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor, speaker cards?
Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I have two items to address on this one. The first one is I greatly appreciate the fact that you said for the homesteaded properties, they could go ahead and work on weekends. You have people that are going to work from sunup to sundown through the week. They own a home. They come home, they couldn't work on the weekends because of this noise enforcement. So I'm glad that you put that in there, that the homeowner has the ability to go ahead and work on their weekends when they can. I greatly appreciate that. I also looked at it when I was going through the packet, that where you had law enforcement can enforce it on the weekends, because otherwise it would have been a code compliance variance, and code compliance doesn't come out on weekends. You'd wait till Monday, and then there was no code violation. So I like the fact that you put it in the packet. It was very, very well thought out, where the police department has the authority to put a stop order on it and then turn that back over to code compliance to make the builders be responsible. Personally, I'm very happy with how you did this packet. Thank you very much, because I know a lot of people do want to sleep in, and they live right next, even though they're in what was originally a rural residential neighborhood, is now nothing but a packed neighborhood. And we have hundreds of builders right there right now, and they're starting at 6 o'clock in the morning to unload their trucks before they fire up the air compressors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Butcher in. Ken Delgado.
Ken Delgado, 154 Angela Road, Southeast. I'm also in agreement and thought this is a great thing. I meant to send an email, and unfortunately I didn't follow through. I know you put an exemption there for emergency situations with the city utilities or things like that, if I'm not mistaken, and which is great. But then the thought is this: let's just say a hurricane came through, and there's emergency situations there, and we have to get the houses back together again. We have to patch roofs. We've got to fix everything. And I'm wondering, is there an exemption there for emergency types of situations such as that to be considered along with the process that you're doing?
Mr. Morton?
With permission from the building official, allows exemptions.
And I believe we can do it citywide. It doesn't even have to be on a
Yeah.
case-by-case basis, which is what I was trying to refer in my notes to. But not only can we address it individually, but I believe corporately, the building official, we can issue I think
Wouldn't that be working on a homestead?
No, so say you weren't homesteaded, or you had a apartment or a commercial property, or the building official can do that, and I believe we can pass a resolution or ordinance in their declaration of emergency that discusses, and I think state statute discusses, we can get more clarity, but there is provisions to expedite work during storm recovery.
Okay. Does that conclude the speaker cards?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, so I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2025-61.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Langevin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. Any further discussion, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to thank Councilman Langevin for bringing this together and then just working with staff, based on our comments from the last meeting. So I thought it was a job well done.
Yeah, I agree, Councilman Langevin. Outstanding work and taking the time to think this through. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes unanimously, 5-0. We're now on item number 4. Deputy Mayor, take it away.
Yes, sir, Mayor. So last council meeting during council reports, I asked the suggestion if council would be open to bringing forth an amendment to council policies and procedures that would basically expand upon what we do already for ordinance requests, but just any item any council member wishes to place on a future meeting agenda, we just bring it up during council reports and get a majority consensus before we ask staff and city manager to put time into something that may or may not make it at a future meeting. And then furthermore, the recent council policy change, which we made a couple months back, just a cleanup item, adding consent as a separate time for the public to speak.
Okay. Thank you. Any speaker cards?
Yeah, one speaker card from Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. You don't know how happy I am for you to consider putting this back in there so I didn't have to use my public comment time where I could address other things that were important to me, to have to use my 3 minutes to address consent agenda items that were already on the agenda. So I appreciate that greatly. I hope this does pass, and hopefully I'll never have to use my public comment time again to address consent agenda. Even though you know that there was 12 consent agenda items, I could like to speak on each one of them, but I'll try not to do that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And Master Chief, I'll tell you, as you know, I didn't want you to lose that ability, so I'll be seconding this motion. So I need a motion.
Motion to approve new business item number 4.
Second. I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Mayor Medina. Any further discussion, Deputy Mayor?
No, Mayor.
I want to thank you for bringing this up, though, and policing this item. I really appreciate your work on this. I do have Councilman Hammer.
I would also like to thank Deputy Mayor Jaffe for coming forward with this. This is something that, when we lost this, it meant a lot to me, and bringing it back not only means a lot to me, because during this, during consent, there's people that don't know, or that I don't know as much as. Then I love hearing the input from people that know more than me on a subject. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this and giving us the opportunity to get that.
Councilman Langevin.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just speaking on the first half of this item, which is the council policy. So with the council policy, I think it really, I think it really limits our ability as councilmen to engage in good dialogue and to bring policy forward. But more importantly, I think it hinders our ability to capitalize on certain situations. And so if I look back at the past year, there were certain things like, and we have to bring ordinances up anyways, so there's certain things like the chickens and things that, I brought up in this, but there's other things that, like our resolution to request NASA headquarters come here, that we jumped on an opportunity because the governor came here on the weekend, and we came out on Monday with a resolution, and we passed it Thursday. And okay, NASA headquarters isn't here yet, but you've all been up to DC, you've talked to our lawmakers. Some of those things that we did early on helped put Palm Bay on the map, and I think we are getting some good traction and some good commercial now looking into the compound in certain areas like that. So the point is, I think this restricts our ability to capitalize on certain things. If that had happened and this was our policy, I would have had to wait till Thursday, ask for your permission, and then maybe the meeting's in 2 weeks, maybe it's in 3 weeks, depending on the meeting. Then we could pass a resolution. Now we're a month behind the Powerball. And so, I think this council policy limits our ability to take advantage of really good opportunities. And there has not been an issue with this the entire time. We've done good things by having the ability for councilmen to put things on the agenda, but no negative things have come up. I don't think I've brought up anything. None of our uncomfortable meetings were because I put something on the agenda as a resolution. I think the only things I put on the agenda were the NASA headquarters and the removing the fluoride, which passed 5-0. So I don't want to take our ability to capitalize on good things for the city, because we want to be extra cautious. That's my main concern.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson, I want to give you the opportunity to weigh in.
I have nothing else to add, Mayor. I'll be voting aye on this item.
All right now I've got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Mayor Medina. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Passes 4-1. We're now on committee and council reports. Councilman Langevin.
Yeah, all I want to say is, with Christmas coming up, we're obviously going to have some of our best out there on Christmas, keeping us safe, patrolling the streets. So for both chiefs and any other staff that have to work, I just want you to relay our appreciation for all of them and what they're doing for us and what you guys are doing for us. Thank you very much. And other than that, let's remember the reason for the season, and Merry Christmas and Christ is King.
Thank you. Councilman Hammer?
I have a few things. First, once a month, I get to go and spend time with our fire department, go have dinner, spend a little bit of time with them, see what they got going on and whatnot. So this last Thursday, I got to spend time at Station 2, had an amazing dinner. They can cook phenomenally, by the way. But I got to go on a call, and I would have to say before we even made it to the call with the district chief, not only was the engine on site, but they had it figured out, had everybody safe, and had everything done before we could even make it to the scene. Before we could make it to the scene. And I'm talking under 5 minutes. That's impressive. And I just want to give our fire chief and our fire department an amazing, amazing status for me. That was perfect. Perfect. Okay, another one. I was told about something scary going on Babcock. I walked down Babcock just to experience it myself. Walking over the Babcock Bridge on Babcock Road is scary. Oh my God. I have never been so in fear of walking down a road in my life. We need to figure something out for people to walk down Babcock there, because somebody is going to get hurt. If you've got a spare time, go look at it. It's atrocious. I want to bring up to our staff, the Estuaries Act passed, HR 3962, so we got some more funding for clean water and our estuaries, hint, hint. And in January, I will be having a town hall to discuss homelessness. See what kind of ideas we can come up with, work with some churches, work with some groups that are working around Brevard County, and see what we can get moving going forward. It's something that's kind of tough to get together because you have so many people that you have to get together. There's so many churches, so many people that want to be involved, and I think it's something good we can have moving forward. And lastly, I had something to comment on, but on my way here, I was listening to a motivational speaker, and he said, when you feed negativity, the monster only gets bigger. So the more that you discuss it, the more you talk about it, the more you bring it attention, the bigger the monster gets. So in that, I'm closing. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson.
Nothing to add, Mayor. God bless you. God bless the council, Mr. Morton, Mr. Messenger, and everybody in the audience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to commend staff for the event they hosted at City Hall Friday night. Councilman Hammer had come up with a food truck idea, and staff put it together, and it was hosted here at City Hall Friday night, and it 300 to 500 people showed up throughout the night. It was hard to keep track of the food truck sold out of food. It was very well attended. The fire department was there educating, the citizens on all the equipment and, how calls are made and the different processes that they go through. And then Public Works was there with their camera truck and utilities. And it was really cool to, like my son's a video gamer in addition to sports, and they're basically using like an Xbox controller to operate this equipment. So you plant these seeds in the youth that there's job opportunities outside of the normal traditions that they learn in school. So I thought that was a job well done, and look forward to seeing that expanded, and hopefully one day we can mirror what other places are doing, like Viera, where they actually have a food truck destination with an amphitheater and, a business, a place for, the residents to come and for businesses to succeed.
Like Lake Nona.
Yeah, and soon to be Vieira too, right? Yeah, so well done, Councilman Hammer and the staff. Last council meeting, Mayor, you brought up the desire, that we had to appoint people to the budget task force. As I started thinking about that, I don't think we actually solidified that through an ordinance. So I think we need consensus tonight, or maybe we've already had consensus. I just don't think that's been executed by staff for us to actually vote on. One last thing I'd like to discuss is noticing, we talk about economic development and we want businesses, and Wagon Wheel closed, right, and Wendy's closed. They're both marijuana dispensaries, and I don't like to see our city being overrun by marijuana dispensaries. And I consulted with the city attorney about some options that what can and can't be done, and her first reaction or first discussion is they're protected because they're a pharmacy. And so they have the same rules that apply to CVS, Walgreens, or Publix. But there was an aha moment in her conversation, and she was going to explore it further. But based on our new council procedures tonight, I'd like to get consensus from council for her to explore this further and bring back a solution that can minimize or deter multiple marijuana dispensaries from overtaking our city.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. The area of caution is when you say deter, right? Because I think by law, they have a right to exist now based on our laws. But yeah, I don't know how she would explore that, but I'm on board for her to explore it. So yes, sir, I'm a thumbs up on that.
I'm okay with exploring.
Go- Councilman Langevin?
Yeah, I'm okay with exploring, and, to your point, Mayor, there are counties in the United States that are dry counties. There are ordinances that can prohibit strip clubs in cities. So, I think there could be room to wiggle on that. And if there is some legal avenue, I'd be okay with moving on that as well.
Councilman Hammer?
I'm okay with exploring it.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes, sir, I'm good too.
Okay.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Okay, so I want to go back to the task force. I know we voted, so I don't know what the status of that is. Perhaps the clerk can share.
Yes, Mayor, staff still has to bring forth an ordinance establishing the task force before you make your appointments.
Meaning Mr. Morton's staff?
I believe the city attorney's office was working on that.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so, yeah, I had already in division who I was going to solidify there, someone with experience, Eric Stein, and I'll repeat his name again when I need to. So it's up to me for my reports. First and foremost, I want to share the amount of time and effort that citizens have come to give of their time, give of themselves in considering others more than themselves in serving people. So this December 20th, this Saturday, from 10 to 3, they will be hosting the 17th annual Family Christmas Extravaganza. And what's interesting about this program is it doesn't cost anything for anyone who attends. It's a collaboration of businesses, also with churches that are involved, to give Christmas away. And some children will walk in there and get toys. There'll be live entertainments, free hot dogs, cotton candy, popcorn. And this year, they can actually ride a Ferris wheel, FREE. And, if you've never seen a child smile and just look at everything that's happening and their parents able to give them that opportunity, I highly recommend, I highly suggest that you all attend and watch these children just have a great time. With that, it's December 20th, this Saturday from 10 to 3. There'll be live entertainment. And also, I want to end with this. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Palm Bay. Mr. Morton.
4 very brief items for you tonight. In regarding the Claremont spill, which we haven't talked about in a while, we still have not heard any word from FDEP or Health in response to any remedial action or a fine. We're anticipating that to come forward. We'll check back in with them in the near future, but unless anyone think we forgot, we have not forgotten about the Claremont spill. We're still working to button those last procedural pieces up. In terms of our recruitment for our Community and Economic Development Director, we've got 9 applicants. Our first round review will get underway on December 22nd, and hopefully we'll have some interviews the first week of January. We've set a very high bar for this position, and so we'll see what comes out, but we're going to make sure we find the right person to help us get to that next level of effort in recruiting more businesses and creating an exuberant tax base, as I've heard said many times.
Praise the Lord.
In terms of customer service and transparency, just a couple items just to keep people in the loop. So we had the city manager coffee last month. We got a lot of feedback on our website and how difficult it is to navigate, how difficult it can be to find things, and that the citizens would like to see enhanced transparency, making navigation more user-friendly and just making it simpler to find some information. So we're going to have a 30-day open comment period to the community starting January 1st, running through the month. And we're going to want to get ideas, feedback, specific suggestions, concerns, complaints in respects to the website and how we can work to make it better to serve our residents better. Similarly, our phone tree system is pretty difficult to use and for the public to navigate. And by the time they get to my office, the comment we get most is, "Oh, thank God we've got a live person. Please don't hang up and please help." And so I took it last 2 weeks. I told staff, I said I made some anonymous calls under a pseudonym to the city phone tree and found it, yes, it's very difficult to use and a lot of options and a lot of, frustration and worry that you're going to get a voicemail and you may not get a call back, or you may get transferred to 4 people before you get an answer. And so we're taking on an initiative to work on that. Our residents deserve better, and we're going to try to see if we can't help solve that problem. It's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to work on trying to fix that and being more directly available and having a better response time. Lastly, in that same idea of transparency, moving into the first half of next year, we're going to do some work with Polco through ICMA to do a citizen baseline survey. And what that is a measure of community sentiment and satisfaction. But what it really does is allows us as staff to benchmark some data and benchmark some feedback, and then it's benchmarked regionally and nationally to help us understand where some real pain points are and what folks are really thinking about certain aspects of our operations, our service delivery, and again, how the city's performing. And so that'll hopefully begin a trend where we can start using data to help inform our budgeting, help council understand better, and definitely help staff drive decision-making. Lastly, it's the last meeting of the year, so I just want to thank the council, the community, the staff who have welcomed me this year. I've been here almost 9 months already. It goes fast. It's truly been a privilege to be here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and just really thankful. The mayor, you're fond of saying, and I hear it so many times, the greatest city on the face of the earth. And at first I would chuckle a little bit, and then I realized you're sort of speaking a vision. You're speaking life into our city. But, the more I'm here, and, this whole theory everyone knows about the sigmoid curve, right? When you're a kid and you get a model train set, and it was so exciting for a month. And then you lose interest until something new comes along, and then you get excited again, and then you got to buy another bridge, and whatever it is, whether it's a car or a hobby you have. And the point is, when you're around something so much, I think you start to not understand what it is, why you got excited in the first place. And so I'll just tell you, as a new guy to this community, 9 months in, I really hope people really are grateful for what they have here in Palm Bay. They really can see. Do we have problems? Absolutely. Do we got issues we're working on? Yes. Do we have real challenges? Frustrations? Yes. Strife? Absolutely. But the core of this community, I've seen it time again in the conversations I have, in the meetings I go to, in the public events I've gone to, telling you what you already know. There's something special, unique. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Wish y'all a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year and an amazing. We're going to make 2026 ridiculously amazing. That's the word I'm going to speak into. 2026 and be ridiculously amazing.
Outstanding. That's motivating, sir. You make me want to go run in PT right now. That is motivating. Next, under administrative and legal reports, Mr. Messenger.
Yes, Your Honor. Honorable Mayor and members of City Council, City Attorney Patricia Smith needs to seek your advice concerning the following litigation matters pursuant to 286.0118 Florida statutes. The subject matter of the attorney-client session shall be confined to the settlement negotiations or strategy sessions related to this litigation matter. The first of two is Langevin v. City of Palm Bay. Case 625 CV 02015 GAP NWH. We anticipate the executive session will last 30 minutes and propose January 8th, 2026 at 5:30 PM as a date. The persons who will be attending are Mayor Medina, Deputy Mayor Jaffe, Councilman Johnson, Councilman Hammer, City Manager Morton, City Attorney Smith, and a certified court reporter.
Okay. I'm good for that day. Thumbs up. I think, Councilman Johnson?
I'm good, Mayor.
Okay, so you've got us all. Item number 2, Mr. Messenger?
Number 2 is Davis v. City of Palm Bay, case number 05-2024 CA 028081. We anticipate the executive session will last 30 minutes and propose January 22nd, 2026 at 5:30 PM as a date. The persons who will be attending are Mayor and City Council, City Manager Morton, City Attorney Smith, and a certified court reporter.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, I just wanted to announce an upcoming conference for council. It's the Florida League of Cities 2026 Legislative Action Days in Tallahassee from January 26th through the 28th, 2026. I know that 2 of you have confirmed that you would be attending, so I just wanted to put
Yes,
it out
ma'am.
there for the rest of council.
Yes, ma'am, I will be attending, publicly saying that. Anyone else?
I will be attending as well.
I'm gonna be up the following week, so,
You'll follow up?
yeah.
All right, good job. Anyone else? Councilman Johnson,
I'm good, sir.
you going?
No, I'm gonna hold down Palm Bay while y'all got Tallahassee.
Say what? What did he say? Oh, copy that, sir. Well, thank you. All right, copy that. All right, that concludes our meeting. Merry Christmas.